Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So today I'm going to be replacing the spine on this vintage book cover that I'm going to be using for my green fairy journal, or my botanical woodland-ish fairy journal. So I always wanted to have two writing signatures and in the middle have this pull-out insert, which you've seen me make on video. And when I put everything together, now bearing in mind I haven't finished my signatures, my pages, it was getting very chunky and there doesn't really leave much room to grow. And on top of that, I've decided I'm probably going to do an elastic binding for the binding, and this doesn't really give me space for 3 eyelets. Now this spine at the moment on the book cover is I believe that's 1 1/16 inches, and I'm thinking 2 inches should be ample, which would give me a spine like this. So we're gonna do this together. I've never done it before, so the pressure is on, but I have watched countless tutorials and I thought I would do it on camera just because I'm always of the opinion if I can do it, then really anyone can. Okay, so for my spine, my new spine, I've got the back of a scrapbook paper board. So, you know, often our scrapbook papers at the very back of the pad will come with this, not relatively thick, but, you know, sturdy-ish board at the back. So I've cut 2 pieces, 2 inches wide and the height of my book cover, which is just shy of 9 inches high. And I've just glued them with my Beacon 3-in-1, it's like Fabri-Tac. I've glued them together. So I've got 2 boards worth for my spine. Now that is nice, quite and sturdy in itself. The glue is going to add extra strength. We're going to use fabric and we're also going to use some paper, I think, as well. Okay, so first things first, I want to remove the old spine from the book. And I'm going to use my ruler so I can be relatively straight with it. And what I'm doing is I've put my ruler in the groove of where the old spine is. So often with book covers you get, hopefully you can see this, but you get this little extra groove, which is like excess fabric or excess material. And I'm just going to butt it up against the board part of the cover, so that I can get a nice neat edge. I realise I have not put anything down to protect my desk, so I best do that. There we go. I mean, you could use a cutting mat, that would make more sense, but I'm not sure where mine is right now. So, right, I believe that is straight, so I'm just gonna run it down. Might need to do it a few times. Now I'm using a craft knife, but you can do it with a pair of scissors. I have removed covers from their spines with scissors before. In fact, I may even finish up with a pair of scissors, just where craft knife didn't quite get it all. That's that. Okay, so yeah, we can tidy up with a pair of scissors after, but that's our first board. And then I need to do the same thing on this side. So again, I'm using that groove as a guideline, / hoping that the cover is straight. I was less hesitant that time, so it went through a lot quicker. Okie dokie, right. Good, I did not go through to my desk, all good. So now you've got this nice clean spine, and you could turn this into a bookmark or something. I have done that before. So let's pop that out of the way for now, so we're done with that. Another reason for replacing the spine was because I had a tear in my first spine, the original spine. Nothing major, just a small one, which could have been repaired rather. But you know, at least this gives me the option then to get the spine to the size that I want, and also have it be, hopefully, in theory, nice and sturdy, long lasting, etc. Okie dokie, so this is what we have. I think we're relatively neater on this side, but that's fine because that's all going to be covered up anyway. So I'm just going to go through and just clean up some of these edges, just because if they come off now, they might as well come off now whilst the journal is still in my possession type of thing. Okay, so that's what we have. So as I say, I've got my spine ready to go. Okie dokie. So I'm going to start this way round first of all. Now they say, I believe, the gap that you have in between your spine and the cover should be how much your spine width is. So I think if I were to go kind of like that, I think we'd be fine. Okay, now for extra strength, I think I want to use some paper across the spine first of all before I add the fabric. You could use Tyvek or something. I don't have anything like that, so I am just using what I've got. So I'm just going to grab some paper. Okay, so I've got some paper here. This is copy paper, but it's quite, you know, sturdy, good quality copy paper. And I'm going to have it be inside where these cream pieces are. I'm going to have it be inside of that because I don't want the paper to show underneath the scrapbook paper. And I'm going to use my beacon because I feel like it will be sturdier. Okay, so I'm going to cover the whole piece. As I say, we'll be adding a layer of fabric as well, but I felt like this would... Okay, as I say, we want that gap, and we want everything to be in line with each other. Okay. So I'm just going to press that down into place very carefully so as not to move anything. All right. And then what I'm going to do is run a bone folder just into the groove of where the gap between the cover and the spine is. Again, being very careful not to dislodge anything. And I'm making sure that everything is in line with each other. As best I can anyway. Okay, let me just get in here. And then I need to do the same on the other side. As I say, there are lots of tutorials already out there for this. I just feel like sometimes it's nice to see someone try it for the first time, you know, to confirm it really can be done type thing. Now I feel like I've got too much of a gap, actually. I'm just going to see about moving this in a bit. And that's the good thing about the beacon as well, is it just gives you that sliding room. I just think I had too much of a gap. Oops. let's just groove that in a bit more. And then I'm just going to give that some time to take. So I feel like it's not glued down the whole way. So I'm just going to hit pause whilst that dries, and I'll be back in 2 secs. Okay, so we're all dry, and then all I've done as well, whilst it, I've just been sort of squeezing it like this. I don't think that's a technical thing to do, but I was just trying to mould it really to really go with the cover. So I've just been squeezing it a little bit, and using the paper on the inside meant that it was easy to mould into shape. So, you know, if I needed to crease the paper slightly, then that's what I've done, and stuff like that. So I think I'm happy with that now. So I just want to confirm we're a good size for the signatures. So yeah, as you can see, obviously they'll be more spaced out than that, but I think that gives enough room then for me to add stuff, and then for the person who has the journal can add stuff. So I'm definitely happier with that now as a width. Okay, and I think it's got enough movement as a spine. Okie dokie. So we're going to grab our fabric. This is really just to cover up the ugliness of the spine. It also gives it a little bit more strength as well. So I've got this pretty piece which has gold and autumnal type leaves on it, which I thought would be ideal for the theme. And I think I'm going to start on the outside. And I'm just checking which way around is this supposed to go. I think that should be okay. Okay, so I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to go down the spine first of all. Now I'm going to use quite a bit of glue, but I am going to like smush it with my finger so that it doesn't seep through the fabric. I am using quite a heavy, thick cotton industrial, quite a thick, what's the word, upholstery fabric as well. So I don't think it will come through, but just in case, I'm just gonna smudge that down. I can always add more glue if needs be, but you can't take the glue away. And I think I did 4 inches for the fabric width-wise, and it's 2 lengths of my cover in height. Okay, so I'm just going to smudge that down onto the spine first of all. Okay, and then we need to add the glue over here as well. So we're going to do the front first. Okay, all this will be covered up with some decoration and stuff anyway, because obviously I need to hide the name of the book. It's a gardening book, but yeah, it doesn't quite scream fairy. You know, there's a bit of pressure to do this for the first time on camera, but I just feel like if it was to work out, then, you know, I like the idea of being able to say, you know, I promise I did it, like it does work, you know, following what people say to do. It just, yeah, I feel like it does give a different spin on things when you're able to say, oh, I have, you know, followed the tutorials. Obviously, give your glue more time to dry than me. I'm so impatient. I know it's not just me, but you know, you'll glue something down, you'll be telling yourself, give it more time. Okay, and then I just need to trim off a little bit because I did a little bit too long. Okay. And then on the inside, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but then this time we're going to have a slight overlap of the fabric. And as I say, I'm going to have scrapbook paper lining the inside, so you won't see a lot of it. Although you will see that, won't you? I think that's probably a bit neater. I'm just thinking, I don't think I want a spiky edge, because that bit you are going to see, unless the point is that I put something else down the spine. So say it was another one of these, but this time covered with, yeah, it's probably what you would want to do, isn't it? Just thinking, because the way that it is now is when you have your spine, even though we're going to have the signatures in it, you will see this edge. I'm thinking if we had another layer of cardstock that was something pretty, then you would hide this, wouldn't you? Because either way you're going to have an overlap. So I think that's what I will do. That's okay, we learn these things. So again, I'm going to follow the spine with the glue. So if I'm covering this, I don't need to worry about seepage, so being a little bit less careful, but still careful enough that I don't want it to get absolutely everywhere. Okay, and I'm pulling that quite relatively taut from the top, just so that we've got a nice neat edge. Okay, and then along here. I mean, you know, there was nothing wrong with the original spine once I'd repaired it. It was more the fact that I didn't want, well, yeah, I didn't want to take away from my signatures, to be honest. Like, I know a lot of us have that problem, that we really think our journals are going to be smaller than we expect, even when we try very hard, and then they end up being this, you know, big thing. But yeah, I didn't want to take away from the signatures, so I thought, well, let's just try this, because it's about time we challenge ourselves to try these things. hopefully all goes well, eh? Okay, so again, just want to pull that taut enough so that we get that nice neat edge along the bottom there. Okay, so I think we're going to have to bone folder this. It does need to dry a bit, but I don't want it to dry without these creases in, so I think if I do that, especially as this is quite, you know, strong, thick fabric as well. Let's see, don't want to affect the opening and closing, so let me just, I don't want any bumps in it, so I'm just basically I'm just making it up. I'm maneuvering the fabric based on what it's doing at the time, and that, well, that instantly feels much stronger. Right, that fabric is not straight, but it's straight along, it's not straight along the back either. I think I will probably put some lace edging down the side anyway, so I think that will be fine. But yeah, that feels really nice and sturdy now. That feels really good. Okay, fabric is a winner. So again, just want to Just make sure these are definitely good. And then obviously I just need this to dry a bit more. And I think I need a little bit more glue on these edges. Just here, because it's trying to ruffle up. So yeah, it's a bit of trial and error. You know, you just keep going until you're happy. But in terms of like strength of the spine, it feels really good. So I'm hoping that means something, to be honest. Okay. Well, I have to say, I have a newfound respect for people who make junk journals entirely from scratch. You know, people who use their own book boards or Amazon packaging. At least I was starting with the book cover, but it sort of opens up a new way of doing things as well. You know, if you find that your book cover that you really like, it's just not big enough for your journal, your signatures, then, you know, you could do this. Anyway, I'm going to just, well, as you can see, all I'm doing is just trying to flatten it as much as possible so that we don't have any unsightly bumps. And then on the next video, we'll look to decorate the cover. So what I want to do is have a fairy on the front, of course, with some bits and bobs, and I would like to have some scrapbook paper on the inside to cover this up and just give this a neater edge. And yeah, we're looking good. That feels really, really nice, considering that's made entirely from, well, yeah, just junk. It feels really sturdy now, and that's even with, you know, we don't have any signatures in it, so I'm really happy with that. I'm glad I went with the thicker fabric, and that actually looks really nice on the spine. And of course that's where we're going to have our tassel. So I hope you found that helpful in some way, even if it was just, you know, you like to see what I'm up to, what crazy antics I'm up to next. Then yeah, and if you found this helpful in actually learning something, that's great too. If not, then sorry. Maybe you will on the next video. But yeah, as always, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you did get some kind of value from this video, and yeah, as always, it's been a pleasure. I hope it's been a pleasure for you as well. Just here hanging out with me, making journals, doing what we love, and yeah, I will see you on the next video where we'll look to decorate up the cover and get this baby in a position where I can actually get the signatures in, maybe. Alright then, I'll see you on the next video then. Bye bye for now.